So this is my experimenting with gradient filament. This was a Creality brand, I believe, rainbow filament. So on one roll, it's got different colors of filament along the way. And what this illustrates pretty much is that you have no control over really what comes out. But here's what the somewhat deceptive ad looked like. Some of them are really, really pretty. Like, I really like this combination of the blues and greens on this statue. And I like the blues and purples and magentas on this one. I think that's gorgeous. And on the gecko, it's pretty, I mean, the chameleon, it's pretty cool. The tree trunk is not that. It's a copper colored filament that I had in there, but the gecko is, I mean, God, I keep saying gecko. The chameleon is the gradient, and actually these leaves on the tree are as well, but this illustrates the problem. The point where this was on the roll, to me, looked like it's going to be greenish and go to that. So I started the chameleon at that point, but really in the feeder already, and blah, 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 there was already really this sort of color. And so that's what color the leaves turned out as well. And so for the leaves, you really can't tell that they're a different filament than the tree trunk. Now, for the chameleon, it turned out to be kind of cool because this is really what a chameleon would do. It would blend in with whatever its surroundings are. So if it's on this log, it's going to blend in like that. And so that's pretty cool. And just kind of a fluke. If I'd known more about how it was going to be, I would have made these leaves probably a separate green to make sure that they were green. But so that use of the gradient turned out pretty cool, and as did this and that one. Now this was one as well, I mean the same roll, and I had seen that blue and green were coming up, so I thought it was going to be like this print, and it wasn't. And I guess that's because it's so thin that it didn't use very much filament, and so really you can only see a very, very, very slight bit of gradient as it goes from a slightly lighter to a slightly darker green. And so that was frustrating. And this green dragon, I think I printed then after this green, I'm not sure, but I was hoping it would be more variant as well. And of course, it's not. It looks almost the same color uniformly. Not quite, and it's not, but it's not as pretty as it would have been had it changed more rapidly. And I'm finding, it seems, that there are different brands of these gradient filaments that include, like I just ordered one that's only blue, purple, and violet, I think. And so that'll be interesting to play with. And there are some that specify how frequently they change colors on the roll and how you could probably adjust maybe some of what you're printing based on what you think's coming up next. But pretty much I think it's just hit and miss. And this was the very, very beginning of the roll. And if it were really rainbow, this really should have been more red, and then yellow, and then orange, and then green. And instead it's just kind of a, I don't know, yucky salmony color mixed in with kind of a yucky green. But, you know, it's a crystal serpent, and we don't really know in history what colors they were. So I guess it doesn't matter. And it still looks kind of cool as far as being a gradient. So that was my first experience. A little disappointing, but then some of the others redeemed themselves. So I had some on. I knew the reddish, mucky, peachy color was coming up, so I thought I'm just going to do the battery box like that. And this battery box is printed like that. So the first layers that printed, you can kind of see are more of one color than what the top ended up being. But as relatively narrow as this is, it really doesn't have enough time to change much gradient. So that doesn't show it much, and I didn't care. I wanted this more for a utilitarian purpose anyway. And then, of course, that was the wrong size because I thought I had AA batteries. I had AAA batteries. So I printed another one, and same thing. I mean, another one, although that has 8 AA's. This has 10 AAA's slots. It printed like that again, and you can see it started out with the green and then went into the nice blue and purple. Although from this point, it just kind of looks blue and purple and just looks kind of strange. So, you know, interesting experiments with all of this stuff. I'm learning little by little. And I think that's it for the gradients.